Good morning everyone, Sam here. Today in my dehydrator I'm going to be doing some watermelon slices and some figs out of my garden. I've had a rough couple of days and not slept last night, so that's why you're not going to see my face today, because I'm sure I look as rough as I've been feeling. So right, let's get started. I've got a couple of bits of watermelon here that I'd already left over from one I did a couple of days ago. I've got to admit, I'd never eaten a watermelon in my life because I just thought they just didn't sound like they were that appetising. I just thought, no, they probably just taste of water and nothing else. But actually, like this, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It does have a bit of flavour. I've never tried one. But dehydrated, again, like I've said about cucumber, it is the yummiest thing ever. It goes like fruit leathers, or fruit winders, fruit wind-ups, whatever they're called wind-ups, fruit winders. I don't know, the fruit leathers that winded up in strips for kids to take in packed lunches and stuff. It goes like those. So it goes leathery and quite chewy. And it's just, and it only eat it though if you've got a really sweet tooth, because it's just such a concentrated sweet taste. It's just lovely anyway. So when I first did one of these, I did take quite a few of the seeds out, but you don't need to, because once it's dehydrated you don't notice them at all. There's no texture difference at all. So you don't need to take them out. Right, these pieces here, because they're quite small, you'll see when I do the larger one, I'm going to just slice them straight across like this. Now I want them, well, I'll slice one and then you'll be able to see how thick you want it. It's sort of that thickness. I've been telling people as thick as a paracetamol tablet, but maybe it's a bit thicker. Sort of that thickness will be. You can do them really thin. I may do some really thin at some point and then turn them into powder. Actually, let's do that today as well. I'm going to do some this thick, which they will dehydrate right down to a thin, leathery, like skin. But I will also do some thin ones that hopefully will dry crispy, and then I might powder them down. I think they might be really nice stirred through some yoghurt, maybe, to make some yoghurt ice cream or just pre-yoghurt. But let's see how we go, shall we? So we're just going to slice these up. I think I'll just slice them. I mean, my slicing isn't, I'm not a mega accurate slicer, and then afterwards I can pick out the ones that have gone a bit too crispy to then I've put baking powder, parchment paper onto my sheet as normal, because these are really full of juice, so it would make a hell of a mess of your dehydrator if you did something like that one. So yeah, about that thick. So I will just carry on doing these, and then I will edit me doing them out, and then right, we'll put that tray into the dehydrator. Again, when I put these in the dehydrator, I will do these now solid shells. I shall do these every other one, so we still allow the airflow. So the one under this will be just a mess. And I may put something on it. I mean, I will put these on because these just stop getting funky. It won't make any difference to the airflow. And then the next one I should put the watermelon on. I'll just chop this one up and show you how I would if I hadn't had those two sort of short, oh gosh, just split. If I hadn't had those two shorter bits, how I would have chopped it up. Just do that. And then again, start again. Right. Doesn't matter, that bit can just go in still. Take the rind off. Right. If anyone doesn't want to throw their rind away, or you know, they bought an organic watermelon, then I couldn't get an organic one, so I won't be doing it. Then you can pickle the watermelon rind. It's really nice. So you would just take the watermelon rind that we've got left here, cut it into little cubes, put it in a big bowl, shake some salt all over it, some rock salt, just pure rock salt, not with a, I don't know what it is now, they're putting it to anti-caking agent, you don't want that. Rock salt for, I don't know, 12 hours, 24 hours, and that will draw most of the moisture out. And then just rinse it all off again, and then put it in a jar and make a brine. And I mean, if anyone wants to know exactly how to do it, then just message me and I'll give you exact, you know, how to do it. But it's really nice, really, really nice. So this is what I would normally do. It's cut like this into triangle pieces. If anyone knows how on YouTube Editor I add another video onto the end of the video, they could let me know please. I have tried to find out unsuccessfully, so that when I do the reveal of the things in the dehydrator, then I can add it on instead of having to make you watch two separate videos. I can do them all in one, but I tried and I've no idea how to get it to do it. And if anyone wanted to know how the swede and parsnip crackers and the apple crackers turned out the other day, sadly I didn't do a follow-up because I wasn't very well and they got eaten within a day anyway, but worked perfectly. And I also did some chutney, spoonfuls of chutney on one of these baking slices in the dehydrator, and that came out like a chutney fruit leather, so like a fruit leather with a vinegary tang, actually really quite pleasant. And it was quite nice, just cut a little piece and put it on top of one of the crackers, and then with a bit of cheese. It was actually quite tasty. So I think we'll definitely do chutney again. It's on my homemade chutney. So we'll just put that in there like that. And also we're going to just pick these figs this morning from the garden. So I could put them in whole, but they take quite a while to dehydrate, so I'm going to just slice them in half, and again I'll put them on there, on these trays, these solid trays. So there we go. I might have to leave a tray out because they're a little quite high, these figs. I didn't want to make them too small. And then when I've put these in, I shall fill the rest of the trays up with some more watermelon, and then we will come back later and I'll show you how it's turned out. If anyone wants any advice, wants me to ask me anything about dehydrating or anything, please message me. Anyway, have a good morning. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys later. Bye. Hi, back again. Everything's been in the dehydrator now for 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. And on 60 centigrade. So I'm just going to show you what's happened so far. They need a lot longer. See all the melon slices, they're still quite flippity. So they need a lot longer. And oh, I also put some what are they called? Begonia flowers in here, and a couple of begonia leaves. Obviously they're still sticky, they did a lot, and some green ones, just to see what they did. Begonia leaves are really lovely to eat in salads. They've got like a citrusy taste, and the flowers are nice as well, but the leaves are particularly, they're just really citrusy. So I actually thought the leaves, if they dried crisp, they would make a really good powder, like a citrusy powder that I could use in, I don't know, anything really, cakes, biscuits, anything. The crackers that I do in here. And the flowers, I thought if they keep their colour, because that's why I put a red one, a white one and a few pink ones in, then they will be ideal again to maybe powder, or just to sprinkle into little bits and put into crackers and biscuits, just to give little flecks of colour. So when it will be natural colour, because they're just begonia flowers. So I thought that's be quite a nice idea. The figs are, I cut them into quarters after all, and they're drying a bit. These are some that I started off yesterday, which I hadn't finished, so I put them in the fridge when I went to bed, so I put them in the fridge. So these are a lot more, and they go really, really sticky. So, and they are really nice. They're nearly ready actually, those, because I like them, and they're all the texture of dried dates, sort of, well, texture of dried figs, I suppose, apart from the ones you buy have sulphur and rubbish all over them, whereas if you did your own. But that's what everything's doing at the moment. Everything seems to be doing fine. So I'm going to leave it probably, I think the melon's probably going to need another 3 or 4 hours at least. But I will sort of turn it over. What I do is, I won't do it yet because it's still quite soggy, but I'll just literally just pick each one up and then just turn it like that. There we go. The white bits you can see, they're just little seeds that are in there. But when it's completely dried, you don't notice them. There's no difference in texture, so you don't notice that the seeds are in there at all. So there we go. So we'll just come back later and see what's happened. Bye for now. Hi everyone, I'm back again. We're now going to see what happened to all our watermelon and our figs that we put in the dehydrator this morning. They've now been in about 7 hours, and most of the watermelon is ready. Remember, these were the long bits that we put in. As you can see, they're a bit like horror film skin, pliable fruit leathers. They tear like that. They're the long pieces, because they, if you remember, I cut them a sort of paracetamol wide, and now they're extremely thin. Same with the triangle pieces that we did. They're now extremely thin. And our figs, these are nicely dried and a little bit squishy and sticky. I mean, you can dry them as sticky, leave them as sticky as you like, or you can dry them till they're rock hard and crisp. It's up to you. I would just try them through the day while you're dehydrating and see how you like them. I put these begonia flowers in, sort of stuck to the tray, so I won't mess with them too much, to see whether they dried alright, and the leaves seem to have dried. As you can see, they're crumbling up. Just have a see what they taste like. It's a concentrated sort of, I know, like a lime peel, sort of citrusy peel sort of taste. So I think I will do a lot of begonia leaves and whisk them up in the blender into a powder, so I can use it for flavourings for things. It's just sort of a, yeah, it's very sort of acidy citrus taste. And the flowers are similar, but I thought these would be nice crumbled up, just to add a little bit of colour to crackers and things, or to fruit leathers. If you were doing a fruit they'd look quite nice if you were doing an apple fruit leather, just to put the flowers in it like that. So you'd have flowers and the fruit leather look quite pretty. Maybe we'll do that next time. Now, what I'm going to do with these watermelons is I'm going to be storing them in a big kilner jar. So literally, they'll keep for years. I mean, these will be eaten by the weekend, but they'll keep for years in a storage jar, or you can put them in Ziploc freezer bags, or you can put them in the freezer. But to be honest, if you're going to put them in the freezer, why do you bother drying them? You might as well just froze them in the first place. So a jar, or even old jam jars. Old jam jars are fine. So I just happen to have these big kilner jars. And then to sort of try and keep the moisture out. Now I've lost the, oh, there it is. I've got these paper tea bags, which I've got off Amazon. And because I drink a lot of loose tea and I make a lot of herbal teas from things in the garden. All you need to do is get a handful, well not a handful, but some rice, just normal just brown rice. Put that in the bag, fill it up and stick that in there. And when that's full, that will absorb away any moisture, stop any moisture from getting and making your anything you put in there get soggy again. If you do dehydrate anything and it goes soft, or you think, oh no, I'd like it a bit crunchier a few weeks later, just shove it back in the dehydrator. You can dehydrate things over and over. It won't, won't make any difference to them. So if you sort of week later you think, oh no, they're a bit soft, I like them harder, put them back in. But they should keep for years. And the trick with the tea bag and the rice, that should be the same as, you can do that, put that in your salt cellars and your pepper salad, your salt cellars, put a few grains of rice in it and it will stop your salt from clumping together and getting moisture in it. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed watching it and you're all going to have a go at doing watermelon, because believe me, it takes over from cucumber now as the yummiest thing ever. Right, have a good evening, have a good weekend. Bye.